G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to cover all the craziness from today's reboot rounds. You've probably seen some of this on social media, but I want to bring it all together. I want to show you the best plays, the best moments, and the players' reactions, because honestly, reboot rounds are some of my favorite parts of Fortnite. It's so exciting. Everything's on the line. It's a victory out or nothing, and when teams win and they have the clips of their comms and them just freaking out, it is honestly some of the best stuff to come out of Fortnite. So I want to show you all that. I want to talk about it all. At the end of today's video, I also want to talk about some of the craziness that's kind of resulted as of the reboot round and the last few days. We potentially have Calculator now retiring. A lot of people saying it's because his team got 1v3'd by Tahi, and I just don't think that's true. So I want to break that down at the end of today's video. And we have the unfortunate news that it looks like not only was Paper's team disqualified from playing in the reboot round because of his actions after he got contested during the heats, it also looks like he's been indefinitely banned on Twitch. So just before we get to that, because I know a lot of people have been talking about it, Paper seems super regretful of what happened. He knows that he did something wrong. He knows he made a mistake, and I kind of hope he gets a second chance, but I'll talk about that later in the video. If you guys somehow don't know what the reboot rounds are, basically in the current format, to get through into the grand finals, there are at least 3 games per region. Some regions had 4, where if you're the team that gets the victory royale, you make it straight through to the grand finals. So obviously this would have some intense moments, but today was on a whole nother level. What Sprite did today will go down in history as one of the greatest plays you and I will ever see. It was absolutely ridiculous, and I won't let anyone argue against that. Let me give you the context, because the play itself alone, which I'm going to show you in a second with the team's reactions, because man, it hit something different. It was not just the play, it's also the context. We've had Gabe, Tahi, and Sprite contested every single week by Clicks, Bizzle, and Booger. And even though Clicks especially respects Gabe, Tahi, and Sprite's team, there's been beef. It's fair to say there's been beef, and I think that's fine. When teams beef with each other over drop spots, it makes sense. But the community got heavily involved. Gabe, Tahi, and Sprite, because of the big names they were contesting, they copped a lot of heat. And a lot of kids who don't follow competitive Fortnite very closely don't really know just how good Gabe, Tahi, and Sprite are. And I've been saying it since the start. These guys are some of the best players in NA East, and they are absolute demons out of sweaty sands. They go into their heats, they're contested by Clix's team, they manage to get a few points on the board, and they get 17th exactly. They had tied points with 18th place, and they won the tiebreak. So they literally got into the reboot round by a singular point. And then game 1, the first time of the entire season we've seen them have sweaty sands uncontested in a set lobby, they get the victory out. But it came down to Sprite in a 1v3 against Calc, Joji, and Ausp on the high ground, full health, full shield, unfortunately no materials, and then Sprite does this.
Alright, it pulled up the mountain, bro.
I know, we need to try to get something.
I'm dead on low ground. Oh, you're Sprite. Team on low ground. Nice. Slurfish and floppers behind you. 40 seconds until zone.
What? 3 slurfish. Pop. Nice. 300 mats, 200 mats. Full trio. Nice.
You have Slurfish.
7 bills, pop slurp.
7 builds. Top 2. 1v2. 1v2. You have 1 Slurfish.
Pop a slurfish. 13 bills.
Going up. Nice. He has to go through a building.
1 builds. 4 builds.
He has to go through a building.
Nice. Got your finish? No more builds.
He's going up.
As you can imagine, like myself, everyone was so happy for Gabe, Tahi, and Sprite. Everyone was freaking out, gassing Sprite up. But then obviously, the hate towards Calc and his team kind of started flying as well. They lost a 1v3 in the reboot round. And to be fair, watching it from the actual stream perspective, like I did when I was commentating it, it was tough. Calc's team had 0 materials. They obviously didn't expect someone to come flying out of zone with a hop fish on, but again, you can't take it away from Sprite. He was an absolute demon. If you go back and slow down that clip, I'm sorry, it's Twitter quality. I tried to get it at HD. I reached out to the boys. They're all sleeping. They've had a big day. But as you can see, Sprite just hits the nastiest flick on Calc ever. Calc jumps to the side, tries to get a shot on him, and Sprite just tracks him to perfection and hits the max damage headshot. It only did 90 because that's how much health Calc had at that point. He comes flying out of zone and takes down Joji. It was heartbreaking to see for Calc's team, but you can't just blame them for that. It's a rough moment. It's reboot rounds. Some of us will never experience how much pressure that puts you under. But as a result of this, a result of a lot of the hate going towards Calc just because he's been such a vocal figure in the community for such a long time, it looks like Calc might actually be retiring. And I don't want to say this is just because of this clip. People saying, oh, Sprite destroyed them so badly he made Calc retire. Calc says in his tweet that he's thought about retiring for a while. He hasn't really enjoyed the game for a long period of time now. This was just the final kind of straw for him and he wants to step away from it. But at the same time, I think people need to acknowledge, again, I know why Calc is copping some of this hate. Remember, back in the day during World Cup, Calc had his eyes set on OCE. There was a whole bunch of beef. There was a whole bunch of craziness. I know, I've been around long enough to know some of the stuff Calc has said, but I've also now been around long enough to understand that a lot of these pro players, they were super young and they've matured massively. They have grown, they've changed as people, and I think they deserve a second chance in those moments. Calc recently has been a really good voice in the community, and I know yesterday he copped a whole bunch of hate because of dropping on Ronaldo's team. He even took to Twitter and say, look, it sucks when it's someone you know and it sucks when it's someone you respect, but it's Fortnite Battle Royale and that strategy works for them. They had to implement it. So I had to add in my take in there as well because a lot of people are disrespecting Calc massively. My man won the first ever trio FNCS finals. He's still playing phenomenally well. He started making educational content for you guys to benefit from. I just don't think it's fair when we see these moments, celebrate the victories. Talk about how good it is what Gabe Tahi and Sprite did. Oh my God, Sprite's a demon. You don't have to go to the flip side and start saying that Calc's terrible. That's just my 2 cents. Let's focus on the wins because in all of the clips I'm going to show today, there was some absolute insane pop-offs, but someone had to lose as well. Let's focus on the wins. I don't fully believe Calc will actually quit. I think like a lot of things, like I said yesterday with the Matzo Amplify situation, a lot of these players are really upset. The way the format works right now is you put hours and hours, weeks, months, potentially years into the game, and especially in this FNCS, if you don't make the finals, you make $0. So I understand why they're so upset. I'm not trying to take away from how bad they feel. I'm not trying to say they don't fully believe they're going to quit right now. I mean, they'd be devastated. I'd be devastated. But I just think let's leave it a few days. Let's wait a week, 2 weeks, maybe till next FNCS. There's nothing to say these guys won't come back. It's a normal response to have when you just have such a devastating loss or when you don't get what you thought you were going to, especially when the community starts attacking you. I really hope Calc stays around. That's my 2 cents on it. I really hope he changes his mind. If he does or doesn't, I think we can all respect that. But I just want to leave it a few days and see how they feel when this all settles down. Round 2 of NA East ended up going to Spegu, Goku, and Straw Hat Charlie, some of the newer guys on the scene, some of the faces that haven't got as much recognition. They popped off. They got a 10 elimination victory out, so a really good game, playing the low and mid ground, and then right to the very end, it came down to a 3v2. They managed to clutch it up, and they are going through. We had game 2 going to more of the underrated, more of the unknown guys. Game 3 went to one of the absolute OGs, Sizlucky, managing to clutch up reboot round 3. Remember, Sizlucky came second in the first ever trio FNCS alongside Vivid and Chap. We had Vivid on the broadcast in the analysis role. It was so heartwarming to see his reaction to Sizlucky clutching it up. Obviously partnered alongside with Nounsy and Shades. Can't take it away from them. It was super wholesome. It was super exciting to see NA East close it out. EU reboot round kicked off with an absolute ridiculous solo clutch from Podasai at the very end of the game. He managed to put one last, and I believe I'm saying this right, Emar on his back. It was an absolute ridiculous clutch, and their reaction is even better. Let me show you what it was like, because they were at a boot camp. They were playing in a room with a whole bunch of other pros and a whole bunch of other players, and man, this is just so heartwarming.
Ah, let's go. Putain de merde. La vie de merde, on n'attend pas, gros. La vie de ma mère, j'ai clutch, gros. La vie de ma mère, j'ai clutch. Vie de ma mère. Oh, let's go, gros.
Et voilà, c'est bon là, tu vois.
A lot of the EU guys right now are boot camping, which make for these insane reactions. Now, game 2 was even more crazy. This one was ridiculous. We had Lanouf, Slicks, and Merijin, or Merijin. I'm sorry, I know I get their names wrong. I'm so sorry. They ended up going up against Kami, Seti, and Teak at the very end for the win. Now, keep in mind, both these guys are boot camping together in the same building. So you literally have two teams, or at least players from both teams, on either side of a room versing each other for the reboot win. So let me show you how the game played out, then let me show you their reactions.
Teak and Cammy right now versus Merijin. Let's see. Teak looking for the big tags, doesn't get it. Merijin backing up with no builds, walking down the mountain. It's up to Cammy and Teak to close out. Fall damage goes through, and Merijin goes back up the height, but Teak is taken out by Merijin. Now it's down to Cammy with only one flopper. He's doing all that he can for the chop. Not a lot of ammunition. The finals are on the line. He slips down further and further. The so close trio is trying to do all that they can. Merijin now dipping into his heels. Can Cammy find the tag? A headshot is all that he needs to go through. Merijin, the defense. This is it, Shio. It's coming down to the last moments.
Oh my god, 1 HP on both of them.
You might be confused exactly what happened there. It was Kami trying to throw a flopper to Teak to give him the extra health to then take on the 2v1 that ended up losing them that game. He ended up going down by 2 extra health. If he had the flopper, if he was able to eat the flopper, he would have then had the health to beat Merijin and he would have won and they would have qualified. It was gut-wrenching, but I'm going to go show you a clip that's equally as happy and sad as both their reactions. You can hear Kami, Seti, and Teak's team in the background as you hear Merijin's team celebrate his victory.
Nice!
Nice! Nice!
Get a finish! One build! You have builds!
You have
Floppers!
three floppers!
Build!
You have some.
Just build!
Four builds! Use floppers!
Heal. Just wait! No second! It's only hope! Don't peek! Okay. He might have heals. Go!
Let's go, man! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, boys! Let's go! Let's go!
The reaction and excitement to Game 2 win is going to be hard to top, but the best way to win a reboot round is when you're live on stream and you can celebrate it with your fans and friends, and that's exactly what Crizzy, Rifler, and especially Saevid did because he was streaming it. So let me show you Saevid's perspective of their Game 3 win.
Okay. I got no match. 129.
Fight together.
Dead.
One is dead.
I'm staying fish zone.
Fight together.
Dead.
Yeah.
Kill him. Oh my god! What? We just got. Oh my god! I can't even hear anything. I've got my headset plugged out. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What?
And it came down to Saevid dropping down and taking down 2 of them, leaving his teammates just to have to 2v1 the last guy, take him out. Honestly, an insane clutch and such an exciting reaction. I thought to add to this one as well, I want to show you Arab, which is obviously good friends with Saevid's reaction as well. Arab's coached Saevid a bunch in the past. They're good friends, and man, it's even more wholesome when you get to see your friends celebrate it too.
Okay.
Nice, taking one.
I got no match. 129.
Fight together.
Dead.
One is dead.
I'm staying fish zone.
Fight together.
Nice! David! Kill him! Oh my god! Let's go! Oh my god. Oh my god.
I know today's video has been a real feels-good video, and I'm proud of that, but I have to address the Paper situation, as sad as and unfortunate as it is. If you guys haven't seen on social media, not only was Paper DQ'd, his team was disqualified from playing in the reboot round that they qualified for because of his actions on social media. He ended up getting also indefinitely banned off Twitch. Paper's response to this was pretty upsetting. He is gutted. I'm going to show some of the tweets here. He's obviously incredibly sorry for what he did and sorry for what he said. Again, I'm not going to find the clips. I'm not going to show photos. Same with a couple days ago when I talked about the video in the first instance. All that happened was he took to social media to vent his frustration towards the team he was getting contested by. You guys have seen it. It's fair to say Paper has some anger issues. He's admitted this in the past. His anger got the best of him. He went and deleted the tweets. He deleted everything, but obviously social media, people take screenshots. It's still out there, and now he's feeling the consequences. My stance on this, I do not condone what Paper did. What Paper did was very stupid. You can't make threats. You can't threaten people over a video game. It's going to get you banned, and it's just not right either at the end of the day. No matter what someone does to you in Fortnite, it doesn't warrant you attacking them or threatening them. But Paper understands that. He's apologized for it. You can tell he's incredibly remorseful, and not just from the consequences as well. You could tell that he was upset and knew he did the wrong thing from the beginning, and now he's had potentially his life turned upside down. Paper has been very vocal about this. A lot of his streaming money and the money he gets goes towards supporting his family, and that's now potentially taken away. So I am personally very sad to see this. I really hope his ban gets overturned. A lot of people are skeptical because, as you guys know, I've talked about this in other videos. Kanata has been banned in the past. He still hasn't been unbanned on Twitch, and it was for a similar thing. It was for making threats towards people in real life, even though Kanata clearly didn't mean it in the same way Paper didn't mean it. I don't genuinely think Paper was going to go physically harm someone over them contesting his drop, but Twitch terms of service makes it very clear this is against the rules, and Kanata's ban hasn't been overruled. I really hope they can see the light on this, and same with Kanata. Again, I talked about in the past, what Kanata did was wrong. Kanata knows what he did was wrong, but same as I talked about with Calc earlier in the video, these were and still are young kids in a lot of ways. They need to kind of, they need to be given a second chance. And I know what some of you will say, without consequences, they'll never learn. And I agree, but I think Paper's team getting DQ'd out of the reboot round is already consequences enough. Paper feels terrible for his teammates, but to lose his streaming career, the thing that's going to have longevity outside of Fortnite because of a moment of anger, I don't think that's fair, and I don't like that might be how it happens, but I'm not sure how it's going to go. I don't know whether he will get unbanned or not. I just really, really hope he does. It was an absolute insane day of games across the board. Like I said, man, Reboot Round genuinely is some of my favorite games of the whole season. Grand Finals is Grand Finals. You're giving out hundreds of thousands of dollars, but man, just watching the reactions, watching everyone celebrate when Fortnite's, brought down to its most pure form. Victory out. That's it. Everyone understands the stakes. It's not, does third place get 2 elims to overtake first, and did first go down in 8th? There's no confusion. You know who wins. The celebration is instant because you have that adrenaline. You've just won. You've just qualified. So I hope you guys liked today's video. I haven't done one like this before. I would love to put these in other videos, but you don't normally get to see all the players' reactions. So if you liked it, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below your favorite. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.